All right, so here we go again. Another trip on reserve, but this trip is a little different. Headed to Miami, and if you know who I am, you know I'm based in Dallas. And last time I went to Miami, it didn't work out so well. See, last time I went to Miami, I timed out before I was able to do the trip. We'll see what works out this time. Hello, my name is Darren. I'm a dad. I'm an airline pilot. I am a husband of a scientist. It is Sunday, November 10th at 2:38 p.m. and I'm headed to the airport to Deadhead to Miami to then fly to Santiago, Chile. I have never been to Santiago, Chile before, so this will be new to me. I'm trying to close my garage. Um, and this trip came about because I messed up my bids. I am not perfect. And it's part of our new reserve system, actually, where, so what happened was, they had trips open for tomorrow to Incheon and to Frankfurt, Germany. I wanted one of those trips. With our current reserve system, how it's set up is you have to either um, pass everything or bid for trips. And you can pass. So it's kind of weird. Okay, let's talk. I have time. Let's talk about it. So with our current reserve system, you get awards, right? So, and the pass option is for today and stuff in the future. There's two different ballots we have. So I wanted to bid for trips that were open for tomorrow. Now, I could have had pass everything and those trips. But what could have happened was they could have said, okay, he wants to pass, he didn't want to fly, we'll take him off the bid. But then and then it could go someone junior to me, right? Well, I want the trip. So instead, I turned off the pass all option and bid for Frankfurt and Incheon for tomorrow. What I didn't see, because I was playing Wolfenstein, was a trip came open for today that had a deadhead to Miami. And because I didn't see it, and I had pass all turned off, the trip came to me right away. Even though there's someone junior to me who it would have gone to first, but they had pass all turned on, I bet. They had to have had pass all turned on. So because I didn't see that trip, I had my shields down, so to speak, and I got awarded the trip. Now, it's not the end of the world. You know, we all go through this mourning, like, oh my gosh, I got this trip. I didn't want a trip, blah, 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 blah. You know, then you accept that in the 7 stages or whatever of a grief. It applies to crew members too. It's an easy trip for the most part. They headed to Miami on a 777. I should get first class. And then I'm there for 2 hours, really about an hour and a half on the ground before we get on the airplane. And then I have kids walking without parents in the street. So hour and a half on the ground, and then I board the plane to Santiago, Chile. Now this is a first officer trip, meaning I'm flying. It's an all-nighter down there. We get there sometime in the morning, and then it is a 36-hour overnight, long overnight, right? And then I fly back to Miami. I get into Miami at 5:18 in the morning, and then they put me in rest to head home that night. It's contractual and legal to put me into rest. The plan, of course, is to get into Miami at 5:18 in the morning and put my butt on the 7 o'clock flight back to Dallas. Now, there is a 6 a.m. flight back to Dallas as well. We'll have to see how it works. I don't like rushing. Rushing is not in my mode of operandi. So if we get in at 5 in the morning, if I see we're getting at 5 in the morning, I can list for that 6 a.m. flight and see. But I'm not gonna run for it. You know, it's an hour difference. Worst case scenario, I get into Miami at 5:18. I could have customed at 5:40. I stop by the American Express Lounge, have breakfast, and then hop on the 7 o'clock flight to Dallas. I'm home by 9. I'm in Dallas by 9:20 in the morning, and in my garage by 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. The trip is credited for 23 hours and change because it is 4 days long. A 4-day trip minimum here pays 21 hours. This one, because of the deadheads and long flights, it pays a little bit more than that, 23 hours and change. Now, of course, it's credit, right? And this trip is going to help me out in that with our reserve system. It's complicated, but it's partly seniority based and part how many reserve days you worked. It used to be last year, it was how many hours you were credited as a reserve, seeing is to see where you are on the list. Nowadays, it's not. Nowadays, it is how many reserve days have you worked. So with this trip, I would have worked 7 reserve days. I am on reserve for 6 days, so I'll have 2 days of reserve when I get back. I can't see myself being used for multiple reasons, but we'll see if this helps me out later in the month. Um, See if I can not be used after Thanksgiving. So we'll have to see. But Santiago, Chile is somewhere new for me to fly. Never been there before. I haven't flown this far south ever. And I haven't flown out of Miami since I was on the Airbus. So I haven't flown out of Miami Airport probably since January. Right now it's September, so like 10 months. Now, it's not a hard airport to figure out, but it's different for me anyway, right? So follow along. It should be different, a different video. It's not London. So I parked my car in Terminal D South parking. I can come back to the airport in one of 4 terminals. My main line doesn't use Terminal E, so it's one of 4, A, B, C, or D. It's a gamble. So Terminal D, that's somewhere where I park, so that's where I chose to leave my car for this trip. So made it to the airport. Terminal D, the KCM is in the middle of the airport, and the bus stops either at the ends of the airport, right? So I go to the second bus stop normally because that's closer to the KCM by a little bit because there's an elevator in the middle of the airport. It's always broken. I went to the elevator today. I saw 2 crew members walking back from it. I'm like, oh, it's broken again. So I walked to the end of the airport, up the elevator because the escalator down there was broken as well. This airport. And then went to KCM and then, of course, got randomed. So that started my trip so far. Ironically, I'm leaving from gate D25. And at D27 is the flight to London. But I'm not going there today. So, also of note, every time I sign in for a trip, I get advised of how many hours I have and when my landings expire. So, iPhone, and I'm going to put on the screen how many hours I have on the airplane. This is how many hours I have as far as logged as in the seat because I'm on rest. I'm on a multi-pilot crew. But right now, I have 256 hours and 23 minutes logged to me as since button seat time in the cockpit somewhere. I have 19 landings, and my landings expire on New Year's Eve, December 31st of 2024. So that is where I am now. My deadhead's on time. I am still on the top of the list for a first class seat. It is a 777-300. And so they sell everything as first. They sell business class and first class as first class, even though there's 8 first class seats and a bunch of business class seats. They're showing like 9 open seats. I can't tell if they're in real first class or business class. It doesn't really matter. But I like to have a nice seat so I can take a nap before I get to Miami. All right, keep on going. So still my favorite part of the journey, walking on the jet bridge, since I'm not going to be flying the airplane. Even though it is the airplane I fly, I'm just a passenger, seat 15G, middle-ish seat, business class. So not really a middle seat, but not a window seat. So, Now, whenever I deadhead, I prefer to deadhead incognito. So after I stored my bags and got seated, I took off my jacket, folded it nicely, put it in a cubby hole around my seat, and put on a pullover. I was like traveling not in uniform, it's just who I am. But nice business class seat for my journey to Miami. There is a hierarchy of who gets these seats when paying passengers don't pay for them. And it's very complicated, but it's part of my union contract that if a seat is available, I can put myself on the upgrade list and the gate agent processes the award, and I got one. So lucky me for this trip. Did get lucky. This was a meal flight, so I had a nice salmon lunch on the way to Miami. And fish on airplanes used to be kind of weird to eat, but the salmon is actually pretty good. Got to Miami and I had some time to kill, so I went to the crew room and took a nap in our quiet room. Again, it's an overnight flight, and I didn't prepare for this as in my normal nap in the middle of the day, so I took a nap at the airport. Then head down to the airplane, 777-200. I met my relief pilot. He was about 5,000 numbers senior to me. He could hold captain on any narrow-body airplane. He was bidding in the top 1% of Miami 737. He's very new to 777, super nice guy. We got along great, and I kind of showed him the ropes of being an FB, a relief pilot. This is his first time ever being a relief pilot. he was fresh off of IOE. The captain, as normal, 30-year captain at the airline. He's been on 777 for a very long time. I often get asked, who plans my flight? It's not me. It's an awesome person called a dispatcher. They do all the flight planning for us, and I press one button, and it automatically gets uploaded to the computer. Not just the routing, but the weather and more data is put all onto my computer. As far as our routing down to Santiago, Chile, it's straight down for the most part. We go right over Cuba, then go over Panama, go over the western portion, of Ecuador, and then into Chile. Now, there's lots of terrain down there, but we are going to be west of all the terrain except for a little portion over Ecuador we had to be concerned about in case we had a rapid decompression. Otherwise, it was a very standard flight. And we were in radar contact the entire time and when in ATC contact the entire time. So it was very different than flying over to Europe where I have to do position reporting via the computer and we have HF radios and that kind of thing. And as far as our departure out of Miami, we did the Guava to departure, just over to Baller, Mint, Blum, Guava, and then out to join the course over Cuba. Pretty standard. Miami is pretty easy to get out of. And then as far as getting into Santiago, we did the CIMAC 7 Bravo arrival. Again, it starts at CIMAC, and then it goes straight south. And for the most part, we were like heading south the entire time. Very little course changes going down from Miami into Santiago. But again, you can see all the terrain around there. It is beautiful to look at. But also could be an issue, again, if you're going over to Argentina, but we're going straight south. So it wasn't a major factor. Now, it did cause some turbulence, but wasn't a major factor. Now, the arrival ended, and then we joined the approach for 17 left. The 17 right was closed, and that became kind of a funny, kind of a trivia thing you'll see later on. But 17 left approach, captain's approach, he did a spectacular approach and landing, crazy smooth, very short taxi in, around the airport, but pretty short taxi in, and we into the gate, and then we had to clear customs, and that was a crazy long walk. So you can see here, we're parked over in the C concourse, and to my right is some beautiful terrain looking to the south. Again, it's a beautiful day in Santiago. On the 200, I keep my luggage in the flight deck, we all keep our jackets in there. That's where my luggage is stored. So I put on my jacket. I was the last to leave and grabbed my suitcase. And then I went back one more time to make sure I didn't forget anything because I am forgetful every now and then. So I'll go over to my area, nothing left behind, and then head out. And I had to do a customs form. It's an agricultural form, sorry. All manual stuff. It's very standard stuff in there. It's pretty rare nowadays we have to do these forms as crew members, but some people make us do them. Long walk through customs. Again, it's a very modern airport, a very beautiful airport, but it was a lot of walking to get from the gate out to where we get picked up. But of course, we have to go through the duty-free area because that is how almost every international airport makes you go do. Left the customs area, typical crowd of greeting people. Went outside to get into our van. I took the nice kind of medium ride into the city center for our hotel. And again, this is my first time ever here. Hotel was very modern, very not chic, but very modern, a very comfortable room. It's a very giant room, especially compared to London. But nice room. And now for the debrief. Okay, it is now 2:35 in the afternoon. We got to the hotel about 10:20. I took a pretty long nap. I was pretty wiped after the flight. Got to Miami, went to the crew room. Not many people there. Pulled up my coffee. It was free. The right price for pilots. Went to the quiet room, found a lounger. Took about a 45-minute power nap. Went down to the airplane, met the FB first, release pilot. He's 5,000 numbers is senior to me. Former 73FO, transferred to 777. He's very, very, he used to be 72 captain a long time ago. He instructs in a 73 sim for another airline. So he's really proficient. But he's new to 777, anyway. And new to South America flying on the 777. Captain came on board. He offered me if I want to fly or talk. I'm like, you know what? I'll talk. And I've never been here before, so kind of lean on his experience with Chile. Leaving Miami, haven't flown out of Miami since probably January, maybe December. So kind of dust off the cobwebs about how they do things. Not very complicated. We left from gate 25, pushed back spot 6 or 7, mic to the end of the runway. They did change our routing. We got a DLC routing change, just a new departure to Miami. Normal takeoff. Got headed off to Cuba pretty quickly. And since then the FE went to take his break, we're on a 200. I took the last break, so I was up there for a long time. I did get the beef dinner same beef that we get in Dallas. I ate very little of it. It's not bad. Just the whole semaglutide thing. When it was time for my break, though, I was ready, and I went back and I slept hard for a good hour and 20 minutes. Hour and 30 minutes. Yeah, about an hour and 25 minutes. Woke up. Like, all right, now what am I gonna do? All right. So they know we're almost there. I'll have my breakfast meal. So I'll exit the crew rest area. Tell my flight attendants, awesome group. Again, they're all Santiago, Chile based. I haven't mentioned that yet. Like we have flight attendants based here. They're all Chilean citizens that work for my airline. They only fly in South America. They don't fly anywhere else in the continental United States. My understanding is they're on a whole different seniority list than the flight attendants that are U.S. based. Anyways, I got my meal in our crew rest seat 1A. Went back up front, and it was bright, like the sun was out, right? Straight shot in here, right? We're headed south, and it's almost a straight shot in here. Beautiful scenery, beautiful mountains, which are a bit of a challenge. The 17 right is closed. We're down to one runway operation. We had to slow down quite a bit to make sure we didn't have to go around after flying a long flight. Captain made a spectacular landing on 17 left. Taxied around to the west side of the airport, got to the gates, shut her down, and then we had to do the long trek through the airport to get to the exit. Like I had to walk in, come out my steps in, and the crew line for customs was very long, and they did the customary bag scan, make sure I'm not taking anything crazy into the country. Decent drive to the hotel. It's a very nice hotel room, and now I'm here for 36 hours, or less than that now, because I've slept for a long time. But I get all night tonight, wake up tomorrow morning on my own, and then I get all day tomorrow, take a nap, and then I go out tomorrow night. I'm sure I'll have some kind of briefing before that. But now I'm going to go find my lunch and dinner, because I'm not that hungry, but I need to eat. And yeah, Chile. I did get some warnings from my Chilean flight attendants that Santiago, Chile is not the city it used to be. It used to be a very pleasant city, a very safe city, but they've had lots of issues of late on the political. But they did say I shouldn't walk around with my smartwatch on. Shouldn't have a wallet in my back pocket, and I shouldn't be walking around with my cell phone. Which I wasn't going to do that anyway. I was pre-planning my route, my walking. So I go on Google Street View, and I leave the hotel, and then I Street View walk my whole walk. So when I go outside, I say, okay, there's that store, turn left. 2 blocks, there's that corner, turn right, and I get to where I'm going without having to do this. So I'm gonna go to a mall. I might go some sightseeing today. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. Okay, that's the briefing for now. Oh, and yes, they're different shapes. You're not crazy. Santiago is a beautiful city. I'm combining both my days of exploring into one segment here. This is on day 2 that I'm using my iPhone. Day 1, I was very cautious, didn't use my phone, I used my glasses instead. Now, I see this group of people in every country I go to. I'm not saying it's a cult, but I think it's a cult. Anyways, it was a beautiful day in Santiago. My first stop was at this giant building, tallest building in South America. I'm putting the name on the screen. I will ruin the name if I try to say it. But it's a giant building, right, with a giant mall attached to it. Most of the building is empty, though, due to some other issues, but it's a giant building all the same. The mall is giant, and I really enjoyed it. It was a 5-story mall. Some of the stores were on every single level. Like, it was one giant, department store with all kind of stuff in it on every single level. But went through the mall, and then I said, you know what? I need to find some food. They have a giant food court and a restaurant area, and I came upon this place, and I'm like, it's calling my name. Texas ribs, legendary taste. I'm cheesy, okay? So what did I do? I asked for a table. So listen, I had to do it. Even though I'm a native Texan, I love the silliness of it. So for lunch today, yeah. Hold on. Wait. Oh, can you see it? Yeah, okay, you can see it. Yeah. That's what I'm having for lunch today. It's silly, but I will say the beef outside the United States is better than beef inside the United States. So we'll give it a shot and see how it goes. So for an appetizer, I got this bread, and it warned me. The sauce is very spicy. It was not that spicy, but maybe for some people it is. The ribs and the filet mignon were both very good. The coleslaw and French fries were acceptable. After lunch, I did some lots of walking. I went through this car extravaganza kind of showroom thing. I saw some Peugeot and Opel models I'd never seen anywhere else because we did not have those in the United States. And then I did some shopping. There's a kind of rock called lapis lazuli. I'm probably saying it wrong. That is only found in Afghanistan, Chile, and then in some small parts of the United States and Myanmar, but it's pretty rare rock and it's very beautiful. So I ended up buying two pieces. I haven't given them to my kids yet. Like, I'm not sure they can actually keep a hold of them or not. But again, something different for me to do. I did some touristy stuff. I went to the top of the building, the Sky Costanera. I'm probably saying it wrong. It was $18, not too bad. It's a very high building. Again, it is the tallest building in Chile. Again, most of the building is empty because the infrastructure, I'm told, around it can't support all the traffic from it being full. Maybe one day it will, but quite the sight. Again, you can see the entire city from up here and all the beautiful mountains around it. Again, it's a very modern city. Now you're looking up, straight up. Again, it's open topped, but I enjoyed myself. I did call my wife from up here and kind of show her the view. And I have to be very cautious because when I'm traveling, my wife is home with the kids, our crazy kids, right? So I never call her when I'm like on the beach somewhere. But I figured it was safe calling her from the top of this building just to let her see the sights of Chile. I did notice in the gift shop they had a flag very similar to the Texas flag, but not quite the Texas flag. I took a few more pictures, a few selfies, and then went back downstairs, went to the grocery store and the mall, got some snacks for the evening, and went back to the hotel, and I went to bed. Now, the next day, I did go out again, quite a bit of walking. I do about 3 miles a day walking to get all my steps and everything else in. Appreciate cities where I can just walk, and this is a very walkable city. I did a lot of walking. I found this neat park area. I walked through this park. They had lots of sculptures inside, and they even had some artwork. You can go inside this building and see some artwork that change every now and then. But I like just exploring on my own 2 feet and just not getting lost, but just walking around and finding what I can find on a trip. And so this is on day 2, right before my nap to go fly again. It is currently exactly 1 o'clock, and van time is in a couple hours, which means it's almost time for my nap. I like to have a 4 to 5 hour nap before a red eye. That's just who I am. So right now I'm planning on going to bed. Hopefully in bed by 1:45. That should give me a good 5 hours of actual sleep, hopefully, before the red eye flight tonight. Chile is very interesting, easy to get around. They have a good public transportation system. They have a subway. I like subways. I speak enough bad Spanish, and they thankfully speak good English that getting around and ordering food was not an issue. But I don't care. I don't care for the flight time down here, because I'm not based in Miami. I think people that are based in Miami like the trip because, again, the pilots that I'm flying with are getting paid 21 hours. I'm getting paid 23 hours and some odd change, but I'm doing 2 deadheads. It's because of our pay credit rules and average calendar day stuff. So for them, it's a benefit. For me, we had the flight from Dallas to here, but it's a 7-8. But yeah, so I'll probably not come here again for a while because, again, I'm not based in Miami. But I'm doing my normal red eye routine. I've walked 2.5 miles so far today. I have at least another half-mile trek back to the hotel, so that should fit my 3 miles in and close my rings for the day. All right, I'll probably do one more debrief either before I go to bed or before I head out to the airport tonight. It continues. So after my nap, I went to a Starbucks and ordered this pistachio cream croissant. Very important that it's cream. I didn't think about that when I was eating it. I did get a frou-frou white chocolate latte, blah, blah, blah. But it was a good coffee. And Darren with 1R, which is fine. But I was eating my croissant, and it was very good. And then on my second bite, all that cream stuff went all over my shirt and pants. I am so glad that this was my last overnight because I only pack one pair of jeans. I pack one plain t-shirt and one t-shirt with letters on it. That's what I do. This is my incognito t-shirt. That way they can't tell if I'm a foreigner or not. But good croissant, but yeah, it went all over my pants. I was highly annoyed. But I did a little bit more walking again. I'm
I'm flying the trip, so I want caffeine because I'm gonna be up for quite a bit because I'm flying a leg back. Um, I fly, then I take a break, then I fly again. So I want to be fully alert. And again, it's a 10:30 departure, which is really like 9:30 Dallas time. It wasn't really super late, but I did a little bit exploring in the area. Back to the hotel, and here's a quick just briefing before I leave the hotel for the airport.
All right, so overnight is almost done. 36 hours is a long time. I have about 33 minutes till bedtime. I'm always early. Room is mostly packed up. Um, I had a good time in Santiago. I did a little shopping. It's over there. Let me get it real quick. Wait, no, it's over here. Um, there is a stone that's only available in Chile and Afghanistan. And I'll put the name of the stone on the screen because I forgot what the stone was. But I bought two bracelets, one for my oldest, and then one for my wife, maybe. But my wife doesn't really wear jewelry. Here's my oldest, but I thought bracelets were the best option. This is a little smaller version of it. I haven't bought jewelry in a long time, so something different for me to buy. I did not buy my wife any chocolate because she has enough chocolate. I sent her pictures of chocolate she didn't want anymore, so no chocolate for her. That's all I bought though. Did a lot of walking today. Very nice mall. Nice, I like the mall. Then I walked around the park and walked around the area. Um, the flight back, 8 hours, 40 minutes. So we should get about 2 hour and 20, 30, maybe 2 hours and 25, 30-minute break each per person. Let's get into Miami at 5 o'clock. And I put myself on a 7 o'clock flight back to Dallas. Now there is a 6 o'clock flight. And the last few days, this flight from Santiago has gotten in around 4:30, 4:45. So if I get in before 5 o'clock, I'll take the 6 o'clock. Sorry, the 6 p.m. flight, a 6 a.m. flight. If not, I'll take the 7 o'clock flight. It's an hour difference. I can find something in Miami for an hour. I'll go to the American Express Club. But yeah, all right. I'm gonna have my Fairlife drink, the rest of my Coke Zero, and head out. I find it interesting that Chile does the same thing that Europe does. They do the thing where you can't detach the lid. So, yeah. All right. It continues.
So we got to the airport pretty quickly, pretty early. Again, giant airport, and sometimes we have to figure out where we have to go because we're on our own. Because again, our flight attendants are based in Chile, so we don't ever see them until we get to the airplane for the most part. The captain had been here before, so he kind of knew where to go. The crew line was crazy long. Security was easy. They had a nice airplane in the security area. That's a first for me, I think. Maybe just Fargo and Santiago. I do find that funny. Noel Phillips, also a huge YouTuber, was here in Santiago recently as well. At least his recent video was in Santiago, Chile. So like, hey, maybe I could have seen Noel in the airport. Probably not. Anyway, got to the airplane, and me and the relief pilot were here first. Captain went to go get some lunch, some dinner elsewhere because he's tired of airplane food. I get it. But put my stuff away, hopped in the seat, and now when I got my clearance, I was listening to the ATIS, and it said runway 19. I'm like, and they have two runways here, 17 left and 17 right, and 17 right was currently under construction. Where's this runway 19 at? But first, listen to the weather briefing with me.
Weather at 2300 UTC, wind runway 17 left, touchdown zone 200 degrees, 11 knots, variable between 180 degrees and 240 degrees, then 210 degrees, 7 knots, wind runway 19er, touchdown zone 200 degrees.
So on our airport moving map, we see 17 left and 17 right. And on the old-fashioned 20-9 page, we see 17 left and 17 right. I'm thinking, where's runway 19? I am zooming in. I am looking all over thinking, am I crazy? I heard 19 and you heard 19 too. We heard 19 as well, but let me show you. Remember I mentioned runway 17 right was under construction? Yeah, now it's runway 19, a very short runway. And aircraft were landing on it, like, narrow-body planes, but that's runway 19. It only shows on this temporary airport diagram page. The more you know. Now, as far as leaving the airport, we did on the Dante 5 RNAV departure. Again, it's up to 4,000 feet, then a right turn. So that first turn depends on how fast you can climb. So again, there's the textual description there for the initial climb, but you don't turn right until you get to 4,000 feet. Again, that is for terrain clearance. Lots of terrain around here. But climbing turn at 4,000 feet over to Seksu, and then up to EL 370, and then Dante. Now they did give us a climb at our own discretion. We have to climb via because there's no traffic around, but easy climb out of there, and then headed up the coast back to the way we came. A little bit bumpy for a little while because again, there's lots of wind blowing off the Andes Mountains. First arriving in Miami, we did the Sandbar 3 arrival. Pretty standard. It has crossing restrictions and speeds. I assumed, being a Dallas guy, we'd be landing on runway 9. No, they both told me, Darren, at 5 in the morning, you can land on 8 left, 8 right, which 8 right is closer to our gate. So put it in the box, and we were approved for runway 8 right. My landing was very average. It was smooth, but I floated more than I wanted to. We were light and had a slight tailwind, according to my app. So that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. Got to the gate, and long walk through customs. And Miami Customs leaves much to be desired. That's all I'll say about that. It's either ridiculously full or empty. The problem is so many facilities at the airport are broken. The escalator going from the jet bridge to the second level was broken, meaning everyone had to carry their bags up the stairs or wait on one elevator. And this is a very common theme in Miami where lots of stuff is just broken. Anyways, clear customs, went back through KCM, and I was able to hustle to get onto my 6 a.m. flight. Now, again, I got to the gate just after 5 o'clock. So according to our computer system here, I can't check in for the flight. But a gate agent could help me out, and that's what I was hoping for as I headed toward the gate to Dallas at 6 a.m. This is a walking video. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use this audio, but landed decently at 4:53. Not great, not bad. Got to the gate at 4:58, and I didn't have time to check in for my flight by 5 o'clock. I checked in an hour before, so. And now I get to go to the gate and see if they can do a manual check-in process for me for the 6 a.m. flight. All right. Now, at 5 in the morning, Miami is a ghost town. There was no one in the concourse for the most part. So easy to get the concourse. It's just a lot of walking. They have a train, but the train, in my opinion, takes more time to go up to the train and then back down than just huffing it all the way to the gate. So that's what I did. Get my steps in early. I'm sweating, you just can't tell. Almost there. I made great time. So again, I was able to clear customs, KCM, walk down to the gate, get a boarding pass. Boarding already started by 5:39 a.m. I got a whole road to myself on the way to DFNW. There is the sunrise leaving Miami. Again, it was a pretty new Airbus, 321 Neo, and here we are arriving into DFNW. Smudgy window. That's on the outside. I don't know how somebody got smudges on the outside of the window. Anyways, got to the gate. We parked in Terminal B, my old stopping grounds from my regional days. Then I had to go over to Terminal D or E to get to my car. I chose E. I have been up for a crazy amount of hours. I don't know how many hours I've been up for, but it's a lot. I'll put it on the screen. I'm ready to go home. Had a small nap on the airplane, but I'm not quite home yet. Had a quick zoom around Skylink from B over to E, and I chose E because it's the first stop on the bus versus on Terminal D, it's the last stop on the bus, at least where my car is anyway. It is currently 8:32. I should be home on the couch by 9:15. Hopefully. We'll see. Maybe 9 o'clock. There should be traffic this morning, but I'm ready to be home. Whole lot of traveling today. Whole lot of traveling. All right. It is 8:49 a.m. and I truly have no idea how long I have been moving. Different kind of trip. So, I left you in the hotel room, I guess. I just want to talk to the camera directly. Went downstairs. The other two pilots were already down there. Hopped in the van. Pretty short ride over to the airport. Not too bad. Not much traffic. Got there, and crazy long line for customs. Like the crew line was stupid long, and it was stupid long on the inbound too. We don't get it. Whatever. Because they had normal people in the crew line, and we were thinking maybe they had no line, so that people would go over there who were normal, but they had issues, and they started backing things up, and then the crew arrived, and then, well, here we all are. It is what it is. They can't leave without us.
Actual security, super easy. Me and the FB went to the plane. The captain went to get a meal. He doesn't like airplane food anymore. He's been here 30 some odd years. I get it. And the FB like it's a meal, whatever. Went to the airplane. No issues. We had one MEL. That's a minor thing with anyways, very minor MEL. Taxiing out there is a little bit annoying because where we were on the edge of a terminal, so getting pushback clearance was hard because people kept coming in to the gate area. We pushed back on time. It's fine. Easy taxi out to 17 left, and I'm sure I mentioned this trivia for you already, but they kept mentioning runway 19. I'm like, what the hell's runway 19? I found it on the other airport diagram. Anyway, my leg climbing turn to the right. I hand flew it till about 6,000, 7,000 feet. Then I'm like, all right, autopilot on, and that was it. The flight back seemed shorter than the flight there, even though I know it was longer. One reason was I had this second break, and the captain said, "Hey, Darren, just let you know, I had a great nap today, and I had 2 cups of coffee and some other stuff and some energy drink, so I'm not that tired. So if you want, you can take a longer break than scheduled." I went, "Oh, okay." He's like, "Yeah, so don't set an alarm. We'll just call you when I want to go back for a break." I went, "Okay, but if you get bored, you call us." I went, "Okay." So I was supposed to have like a 2 hour and 20-minute break. I had at least a 3 hour break. I slept really good. But still not enough. Not enough like for full night's rest anyway. My nap yesterday didn't help me much because I took a nap yesterday with the mind, because I haven't done like a red eye, like a real red eye, since the Airbus. I used to do Bogota, Dallas all the time, red eyes, like all the time. I could just do those in my sleep. Ha ha ha. So I was taking a nap as though I was doing a red eye, but I wasn't doing a red eye really because it's a 3-person crew. It was just different. So my nap yesterday was, whatever. But so whatever. So anyway, I came back up front, and we had about 2 hours and 20 minutes left of the flight. We were at 36,000 feet, just to the west of Panama. Hit some turbulence. Wanted to go 38, couldn't go 38 because it kept denying us for traffic. Finally, we could go to 40. So went to 40. It was better. We still had to circumnavigate some weather. There was a 737 that left Bogota that was ahead of us at 38. And then, for whatever reason, Kingston Center could not hear us, but they could hear the 73 that was below us. And they were right in front of us, like 20 miles ahead of us. So they had to relay messages for us. That was kind of weird. But then 73 guys were like, "Okay, well, I guess you guys got to pass us. We'll wave the wings when you go past us, because we're doing Mach 8.3, they're doing Mach 7.8. So we did pass them up, and they ended up being right behind us. Again, I'm a Dallas guy. I haven't been in Miami in a while. I put in runway 9 initially because we're coming in from the south. So Darren, captain, and FB like, "Hey, this early in the morning, we can get 8 right. If you want 8 right?" I went, "I'll take 8 right." So I put in 8 right. And it was an average landing. We were light. We weren't that full. Flaps 25. And I flared. I began my flare at 30 feet like I normally do, but I think the light weight and the slight headwind, I floated way more than I wanted to. So I was at 5 feet and just coasting at 5 feet. And I finally decided to let it ease down. It wasn't firm, right at the edge of the touchdown. I was looking at the edge of the touchdown zone. I can see on my app later on where I touched down. I'm sure it was 2,000, maybe 400 feet down the runway. Not my best, but still acceptable. We still came to a rolling stop right where I wanted to. It wasn't an issue. I got to the gate, and I couldn't check in for my alternate Deadhead flight because we were after an hour prior to departure. So I packed up my stuff and went to global entry. That was easy, but left customs, and there's normally a KCM right there. Well, whatever reason, I saw a flight attendant try to go through the KCM doors, and somebody was yelling at him that they're closed. It's closed. It's 5 a.m. I don't know what time they open. But so he had to turn around, and I haven't been in Miami in a while, so I didn't know where the checkpoints were. So me and him he was a new hire flight attendant. He was being really nice. I could tell he was new. But that's fine. We both went to KCM, and I said, "Yeah, you know what? You help me out. You go ahead and go first. Good luck to you." He got randomed. I felt kind of bad. I didn't get randomed. So I got to go through. And then I had to haul down the D16 where they're already boarding my alternate Deadhead flight. And got there, they're already boarding group 3, and I asked the gate agent very nicely, can you please help me? I couldn't check in for my flight. I am already listed though. And it's an issue with the gate agents. Some of them are really good, know how to do it. Some of them don't know how to do it. Thankfully, she knew what she was doing. She was able to check me in, give me a row all to myself. That was kind of nice. Got on the plane. I slept a little bit, not a whole lot, but got to Dallas, and now I'm headed home. I am so wired, and just sunlight's gonna help me stay awake that I'm not gonna be able to. Oh, those people are going so slow. I'm going the alternate way home. You're hitting the brakes. I'm not gonna be able to go home and take a nap, so I'm gonna go home and just be awake the rest of the day. But the red eye rules still apply. If you don't know what my red eye rules are, after a red eye, I'm not allowed to use any power tools, make any big financial decisions, or drive the kids around. There are stories behind all those rules. So I'm going to go home, and I'll be working on the video coming out tomorrow, which by this point you've already seen. It's my London video. And then just kind of chill the rest of the day and recover. I am on reserve tomorrow. And actually, I'll look at my bids one more time because bids close today at noon. But I'm on reserve tomorrow and Friday as well. So yeah, Santiago, Chile, new city for me. City was nice. The flying was not. Just because of the schedule. But I will send it to Darren for the wrap up. All right, here we go. Okay, thanks, Darren. Just wrapping it up real quick. You can see my pay. It is $66.41.23 for the hourly pay if I was actually paid for the trip. Of course, it's reserved, so all those hours get put into my reserve guarantee. I probably won't break guarantee, meaning I'll get paid 76 hours for this month. I do get my international pay of $84.58, and it's only paid on the international legs. So Miami to Santiago and back to Miami. I do not get international pay. Dallas to Miami, Miami back, even if I was flying the trip. And then my per diem, I do get $259.25. Sorry for the quick wrap up. It is currently Tuesday, the 19th at 2:44 in the afternoon, and I've already gotten another trip. So when you're seeing this, I'm already flying again. And it's not to London, nowhere to Europe actually, not to Asia, and it's somewhere new. I appreciate your support. If you can, honestly, subscribe, click the little button, and if you want to know when I go live randomly, click the little notification bell. Question, drop them in the comments. Otherwise, have a great day, and as always, thank you for stopping by.